Hello everybody! Today I'm going to read the book The Notebook of Doom. Rise of the Balloon Goons. And I'm now going to start to read it. Once there was a pile of bones. Actually, the bones weren't in a pile. They made up a small skeleton which was filled with squishy guts. On top of that skeleton sat a huge skull with deep eye sockets. These eye sockets held a pair of googly eyes. The whole thing would have been really gross, except it was covered in a layer of skin and had a mop of curly hair on top. This mop-paired, bug-eyed, gut-filled bag of bones was named Alexander Bob, and he was scared to death. Alexander was scared of spending his first night in a new house, going to a new school in a new town, and having to make new friends. Alexander rolled over on his air mattress and looked out the window. The moon lit up a row of rooftops, behind which stood a water tower that said Stearman, Alexander's new home. And I'm going to drink some water now. Oopsie, I drank all my water. Chapter 2, Frightened and Early. Alexander's dad drove slowly down Main Street. I look on this side and you look on that side. This town must have a breakfast place. Alexander looked out his window. They passed a park, a bank, a comic book shop, and then someone who's dancing like crazy on They passed a park, a bank, a comic book shop, and then someone was dancing like crazy on the sidewalk. Wait, it wasn't the person. It was one of those bendy balloon guys. The business put out to attract customers. It was yellow, and it was wiggling behind the sign that's now serving breakfast. Hey Dad, Alexander said, here's a place. They parked next to the dancing balloon guy. And that was silly, but it's not silly because he's dancing, because actually he is alive. That will come up later, like these. Wait, no, it's not right now. Like they took off the air of here, but maybe you can't see. But they like, okay, next page. Smack! Whoa! Alexander jumped in his seat. The balloon guy had flopped right onto the windshield. It snapped back and continued to dance. Alexander shook his head. You're jumpy today, Al. That's just a big bag of air. I know, said Alexander, uncovering his eyes. In fact, said his dad, we should be happy to see this goony balloony, otherwise we might have missed dinner. He made a dopey face and wiggled his fingers. Thanks, Balloon Goon. Alexander smiled and walked a long way around the balloon and into the dinner. The door chimed as Alexander and his dad left the dinner. Were those great pancakes or what? His dad asked. Alexander didn't answer. He was studying his paper placemat, a map of Stearman laid out like a maze. Hey, neat. Maybe you should take extras to hand out at your party. Alexander poked his nose over the map. Party? Sure, said his dad. Your birthday party. But Dad, Alexander grumbled, I don't want a party. I don't even have a real birthday party this year. But that's the best part about a leap year birthday, Al. February 29th only comes out around once every 4 years, so we get to choose your birthday this year, and I choose tomorrow. Alexander frowned. Besides, his dad continued, I already made the party invitations. He stuffed a stack of envelopes into Alexander's backpack. Pass them out to new classmates today. Blah, 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 blah. Chapter 3, map out of it, and I've already read to page 9. Alexander followed his dad toward their car. Way down the street, he could make out a wiggly shape in front of a bank. Another dancing balloon guy. This one was purple. Hey, said Alexander, there's another. He looked around. What? Where's our balloon gun? It was right here when we parked. Said his dad. He was fishing around for his keys. I don't know, maybe someone moved it. Young locked the car. Hop in, Al. Alexander tried to yank open his door, but then crunch, it scraped against the curb. Huh? He said. The car was lower to the ground than before. Dad, this tire's flat. No problem, we'll just pop on the spare and wait a minute, this tire is flat too. He rubbed his chin. Alexander took a step back. Dad, all 4 tires are flat. That's strange, said his dad. Maybe there's glass on the road. Alexander looked across the street. 2 more cars with flat tires. Something weird is going on here, he thought. His dad stood up and brushed off his pants. Sorry, Al, I should call a tow truck. Do you think you could walk to school? Alexander's eyes widened. By myself? Sure, kiddo. His dad smiled. Here, pass me that placemat maze. His dad spread out the placemat on the hood of the car and pulled out a pen from his pocket. See, we're here, he said, circling the dinner. And your new school is right there. He drew a path through the maze. You head down Main Street and then turn left and the north and wait. Oh, there's the stuck in the glue factory. Wait, you loop back. Oh wow, this town has 3 graveyards. And then you go past that bakery and bingo, you're at school. Okay, I'll just read all of this if I can, because I'm already a little bit tired. Okay. Kids, make your way through the Starmont maze. With Stu's dinner, he must know word. Wait, the light's off. Okay, I have to see. Okay, you're good. Okay, start from here. Across downtown, past Darwood Park, and past one graveyard, and there's a factory district. Past the Magpie Lift and another graveyard, and to the abandoned glue factory, but past the Mimium Security Dog Pound, past the Darwood Manor, and past Jaguar Street and Gobbler's Wood, and then past Spearmint General Hospital, and past all the things here, and there's another graveyard here, and past the bakery, and bingo, you're there. But something is wrong because this is just an ordinary school. But look, this is a notebook of doom, right? Rise of the Balloon Goons, so those should be real. And he is supposed to go here. Alexander got my first day in a new town, he said, and I'm walking myself to school. No, go make friends, then tomorrow we'll have a birthday blowout. High five! Alexander gave his father a medium 5. Then he followed his placemat Maze down Main Street. Now, where was the Main Street? You don't really have to know. Pardon? An hour dust. Okay, let's read. Chapter 4. 1, 2, punch! Alexander soon found himself at Spearmint Elementary. There was no one else around. I must be late, he thought. He headed toward the door, but then froze. 2 balloon goons were wobbling there, one blue and one green. Alexander took a deep breath as he pointed on them. The blue balloon said, "Pardon," and the green one said, "Our dust." Alexander looked down, but he didn't see any dust. And hello, that's just my hair. Okay. But oh man, impossible. 11 minutes passed. There was a tug on his backpack. He looked down over his shoulder and saw a flappy blue arm tangled in his straps. Alexander untwisted the wiggling arm and turned to see the green balloon goon's big, ugly face. Whoa! Alexander shouted. The balloon goon's nose pressed right up into Alexander's. Then thump! Alexander was clobbered on the head from behind it. It felt like he'd been socked by a boxing glove. He spun around just in time to hit in the face. Thump! Alexander stumbled and fell backward. Both balloon goons leaned over Alexander, grinning. Their long, wobbly arms swooped in and grabbed at his jacket. Alexander tried to kick them away, but the green one wrapped its arm around his ankle. Alexander's shoe came off as he tried to wriggle free. Smash! A loud crashing sound came from inside of the school. The balloon goons instantly let go of Alexander. They snapped upright. Alexander scrambled up to his feet and ran into the school. His heart was pounding as he yanked the door shut behind him. Chapter 5. A ton of bricks. Okay. Alexander stood inside, catching his breath. The school was perfectly quiet and all the lights were off. Daylight came in through the door behind Alexander, casting long shadows down the hallway. "Hello? Hello?" he called out. "Hello?" said the echo. Alexander clenched down the straps on his backpack and started down the dim hallway. He passed several classrooms, all empty. "Anyone there?" Alexander tripped over something brown. with white stitches. A flat football, he thought. Kerblast, smash! A brick wall collapsed in front of him. A cloud of dust filled the passage, covering Alexander like a powdered donut. Alexander looked through the broken wall and saw a giant yellow claw, a wrecking crane. He had to get out of there. He climbed over the smashed bricks, which was tricky with one shoe. Then he spied something rectangular in the rumble, wrapped in a dusty scarf. Alexander unwrapped the object. It was an old notebook. In the tells, what could SSMP stand for? Skull on the cover. Neat. First page ripped out. Probably nothing important. What? It should be nothing. Maybe. Last few pages still blank. Unfinished? He flipped to page in the middle. Actually, I know what SSMP stands for because I read all these series really fast. What? No. Why is it suddenly a praying mantis? A praying mantis, a huge green bug monster about as tall as a giraffe, minus the neck. Habitat all playgrounds at schools, public parks, etc. Sniff. Rainy days make the praying mantis sad. Regular-sized bug diet. Regular-sized bugs, they spit out the shells. Behavior. These giant bugs love playground equipment, but they play too raw. If you notice a dent in the slide or a swing with one chain shorter than the other, then there's likely a mantis nearby. Warning, the only way to avoid a praying mantis is to sit quietly against the wall during recess. Alexander shivered. He thumbed through the book and saw page after page of monster drawings. Hey, a voice shouted from down the hall. Alexander stuffed the notebook into his backpack. A woman was storming toward Alexander. She wore a gray shirt, gray pants, gray shoes, and gray glasses. Her hair was long in a long braid coiled on top of her head like a snake. Why are you playing in a construction site? She demanded. I wasn't playing. This is my school. I'm a new kid, but nobody was here, and the wall crashed in, and this school was closed to deal with. The woman looked at Alexander. Well, this is a dangerous building, she continued. Even a new kid should have been able to read the warning from the sign out. Do you mean the big pardon our dust balloons? Balloons? Asked the woman. No, there's a big danger. Keep out sign, Alexander. Alexander blinked. How did you know my name? The woman smiled. Actually, she didn't smile. She just frontless. We've expecting you. Only we expected you at the right building, not the one being torn down. Alexander pulled out his map, but it says here. The woman snatched the map away. This place map is outdated. We've moved to the school while they finished construction. She reached into the coils of her braid and pulled out a marker. You're here, she said, circling the school. And your new school is here. Ignoring the maze, she drew a line that cuts through somebody's backyard and a funeral home ending at Sturman General Hospital. She handed the map to Alexander. Now get to school before your principal gets angry. My principal? Asked Alexander. The woman knelt down. Her ID badge dangled before Alexander's eyes. Miss Vanderpants waved for Alexander to get moving, so he did. Alexander looked up at the hospital. Right away, he noticed how this is Sturman Elementary. It was better than the other one. The lights were on. It hadn't been knocked over by a bulldozer. A man sat at the front desk writing on a clipboard. He had frizzy white hair that stood straight up. Alexander read the nameplate on the desk. Excuse me, said Alexander. Eep! Mr. Horsley said. You scared me. Sorry, said Alexander. I'm new here and oh, you must be Alexander, said Mr. Horsley. He checked his clipboard. Well, look at that. Happy sort of birthday. He checked his watch. His eyebrows shot up. You're late and filthy, and why are you the only one wearing one shoe? Sturman Elementary students must wear both uses all the time. School policy, said Mr. Horsley. He pulled out a pair of green gold shoes out of the lost and found. Quick, put on these before the principal sees you. Alexander took the gold shoes. They looked like froggies. I can't wear these, he said. If Miss Vanderpants will flip if she sees a sock-footed student, said Miss Horsley. Alexander made a sour face and pulled just the left galosh over his sock. Perfect. Now let's find your class, Mr. Horsley, said Mr. Horsley, checking his clipboard. 6th graders are in emergency room. Kindergartners are in brain surgery. Ah, here you are. He pointed to the elevator. Press N to get to your classroom. Alexander stepped into the elevator and pressed M. The elevator went down several floors and then opened. Alexander read the sign on the wall. Morgue. Morgue? Said Alexander, stepping out of the elevator. But that's where hospitals keep dead bodies. Alexander tucked open the big metal door and peeked into a cold windowless room. The walls were lined up with square doors. Most of the doors were open, with long metal slabs sticking out like tables. Alexander's new classmate was using these slabs as desks. The class grew silent as Alexander stepped into the room. Wait, I know these two in the back, Rip and Nikki. And I know why she is wearing this hoodie, but I'm not going to tell you. Who dares to enter this forbidden chamber? Boomed the... Who dares to enter the forbidden chamber? Boomed the loud voice. One of the square doors in the back of the room shuddered and then burst open. Alexander screamed. A grinning man had popped out of the hatch. Ha ha ha! Just kidding. Welcome, I'm Mr. Plunkett. He wore a pink and orange flowery shirt, green pants, and purple shoes. Miss Plunkett wrote Alexander Bob onto the board, and he plopped a pointy head onto Alexander's head. Why don't you introduce yourself? I don't have enough water. Hi, I'm Noah, and it's great to meet you. And my dad is a dentist, and we just moved to Sturman yesterday. And hi. I knew, and it's great to meet you. Great to meet you. And my dad is a dentist, and we moved to Sturman yesterday. And Alexander said way too fast. The classroom door swung open with a big jerk. Rip Bonkowski barged into the room. So he wasn't here yet, but Nicky was. Who's the weenie? Rip asked, staring at Alexander. Now, Rip, said Plunkett, is it a good idea to call someone a weenie? Mr. Plunkett turned to the class. Remember what we talked about in our writing unit? You can't call anyone a weenie. So boring. He winked at Alexander. If you're going to give someone a nickname, make it count. Alexander's mouth dropped open. Let's see, he studied. Alexander noticed his silly frog boot. This guy clearly loves slimy green things. He crossed out Alexander's name and wrote Salamander's Snot beneath it. There, he wrote. The class broke into laughter. Alexander tore off his hat. Unbelievable, he snapped. Everyone stopped laughing. A losing nickname already? This whole day had been a joke. Alexander gritted his teeth. I've been lost, yelled at, crushed by bricks and attacked by monsters. He held up his hands like claws. Huge, ugly, terrible, walking balloon goons. Okay. Everyone gasped. Then they laughed even harder, except for a hoodie-wearing kid in the back row. He or she scribbled something in his or her notebook. Oh, Salamander, said Mr. Plunkett. He said through the tears of laughter, you're one funny fella. Alexander shook his head. Why did I just tell everyone about the balloon goons? He thought. Good thing I didn't mention the monster notebook. Speaking of funny, said Mr. Plunkett, I like to discuss a little prank I found on my seat. His eyebrows lowered. Mr. Plunkett slapped a deflated whoopee cushion on his desk. A flat whoopee cushion is no joke. Next time I will fill it with air. Ring, the class rushed past. Alexander finally lunged. This day is bound to get better, right? I'm so tired to read this. No. I'm okay. Chapter 8. Spilled milk. Alexander took the elevator to the cafeteria. Ding! The door slid open. Alexander was hit in the face with a dodgeball. Gotcha, Salamander, said Rip. The ball landed with a thud at Alexander's feet. Oh man, it's flat. I was hoping to bounce off your nose. Ripley Bonkowski came a voice from around the corner. Uh-oh, said Rip. Miss Vanderpump thundered into view. Alexander, she said, I see you made it to the school. Alexander nodded. She turned to Rip. Take a seat, now. Rip, Take a seat, now. Rip shot Alexander a mean look and he got down. Alexander breathed a sigh of relief and got it in the lunch line. Today I'm actually going to only read until here, okay? I'm too tired. That doesn't mean I want to sleep, okay? He grabbed some of the taco surprise and looked for a seat. Most of his classmates were eating together, joking around. The kid in the hoodie sat alone, writing in a notebook. The notebook, he remembered. Alexander, he found an empty table and zipped his backpack and pulled out the notebook. It was filled with drawings of monsters, hairy birds, 8-eyed mushrooms, mutant earthworms. He read about a flying rhinoceros while he ate. What? Rhinoceraptor. I have this SSMP book too. Actually, no. Now today I'm going to stop here. So, thank you for watching. And this was the Notebook of Doom number 1.